all. Just wanted to show you this first. It's a gonk. It's a wizard gonk. Look, there's his little staff and everything. And his cape. We went to a craft fair yesterday. First one in ages, after lockdown. It was absolutely brilliant. Place Cumpark Park, I think. Cumpark Park it was called. Fantastic. I love living in the valleys. It is great. We're about an hour away from Cardiff with traffic, about 40 minutes if not. 20 minutes away from the Brecon Beacons, 20 minutes from Abergavenny, about an hour away from Swansea if you really want to go there. We've got everything sort of, within driving distance. We drove down yesterday to sort of come back, and it was nice just to drive down through all these little village or little towns. I see a bit of them, places like Treorchy and all of that. It was really Saturday lunchtime, but the traffic wasn't that bad. I think it's Treorchy that's won Best High Street a couple of years. Not Cowbridge. Ooh, that's a shame. But yeah, I think it was Treorchy. It's somewhere like that. My names, I still get confused with my names. Yeah, I've lived in Wales for about 15 years now, and my command of the Welsh language is absolutely appalling. I am too lazy to learn it. I'm getting better because some of our neighbours are native Welsh speakers, and you think you should make the effort. But when I lived in Bridgend and all that, it's a very sort of Wenglish town. Wenglish is sort of a mix of English and Welsh. It's an English language with Welsh sayings. Whose coat is that jacket? Over by here. So that's sort of Wenglish. So yeah. No, yesterday was a great day. Ooh, the coffee is really hot. Back in my Def Leppard dressing gown today as well. Bit of rock and roll. Yeah, so books today. Let's have a look at this. Right. This one, not a common book, quite rare. Avalonian Aeon by Paul Weston. And his follow-up, Atagartis, as well. But, Avalonian Aeon is the first one. I prefer it's better. The two are sort of companion. They're basically the magical diaries, more or less, expanding, set out, maybe it's magical journals, set out in book form of a practicing magician in the 21st century, or 20th and 20th century. Very interesting reading if you like me, are into that sort of stuff. Magic didn't end when Crowley died. People are still doing, and there's, in a way, there may be a lot more around than when Crowley was about, because it's become, like everything, it has eventually filtered down. If you class things like sigil magic and psychology and parapsychology and all that in there, there's definitely a lot more, logos, the McDonald's M, the Nike swoosh, we reckon, the car manufacturers, the Volkswagen VW, the BMW, the Audi circles, all of those sort of things. Could be classed as sigil magic. You see them, you recognise them. If I start now waffling on about McDonald's, you're going to start wanting one. I talk about it, even though the food is not filling. Half an hour after you've eaten one, you want something else. It's expensive, it's crap. It's not my cup of tea. If I start waffling on about having a Mackey's breakfast and all, you're going to start going, yeah, could probably do one. We're lucky. We're on the other side of Merthyr to where all the large fast food outlets are, so we don't tend to hit them very often. And do you know what? On Friday we went into Cardiff. We were in Aldi, B&M. We went into Cardiff to take Lad for his COVID jab, his first one, and it was about an hour wait to get it done. We've had ours done absolutely fine, no problem, but your people are still going in and having to wait And they said, "Is it for your booster?" He said, "No, it's for my first." He's having it done because he wants to go to cinema. Well, he needs it done anyway, but he's falling through the system. He moved and he's falling through the cracks, and the doctor's surgery were very, very slow. Excuse me. At sending his notes to his new doctor's surgery. They really dragged their feet because, well, maybe it's not relevant to them, not a priority, but it was a priority to him. Everybody's issues and problems, whatever you want to call them, are important to them. So yeah, anyway, long story short, he had to go to the walk-in, which is down Cardiff Bay in the old Toys R Us store, so we had to drive down to Cardiff Bay because it's not easy to get to. They bang on about Cardiff. The car parking expense in Cardiff is really, really expensive. They want it to be a city, that relies on public transport. But public transport in Cardiff is absolutely appalling. They only have buses, and they're these bendy buses, they call them, because they're too tall to go under some of the bridges. Now, Cardiff, if they want a decent public transport infrastructure, I've got to do what Manchester did and put the trams back in. It works in Manchester. It will work in Cardiff. There's a lot of places in Cardiff. There's a lot of call centres and places like that. And I know people are working away from home, but there's all these buildings and all that need to be serviced. And yeah, parking in Cardiff is appalling. People would still drive into Cardiff to shop because carrying a big Primark bag and a big, I was going to say British Home Stores then, they've gone, TK Maxx or something like that. You see these young people, mainly girls on a Saturday, and they're carrying the big bags. Yeah, you're not going to get them on the tram easily, but if the commuters and the workers went in by public transport, it would make it a lot easier. And there's a lot of people, yeah, I suppose there's a lot of people in Cardiff that wouldn't need, if there was a decent public transport infrastructure, they wouldn't need it. And they're banging on about the bus station. We're putting a bus station in front of the train station and all that, but it's just, it's not working very well. I prefer Manchester and the trams, I really do. The trams in Manchester are great. You take your card and you can just tap it, if you've got a contactless card, you go into the station, you just tap your card, boom, 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 get off the tram, and you tap it getting off so we know you've got off. Or do you tap it getting... Anyway, you just tap your card walking out. It's fast, it's easy, it's convenient, but they're clean, the trams, they run all the time. They've been in Manchester now, about 15-20 years, I think they started putting them in, and it has eased congestion in Manchester. It really has. But Cardiff, yeah, you do need to follow Manchester's example. I mean, London has trains that run through sewers, but I've used, and I don't mind them actually, but yeah. See, the problem with the bus station, the bus stops, is you get one centralised. The bus stop is here, the bus station is here, and then the bus is all in. It's the trams aren't quite like that. Every tram stop is the same, and they have digital boards that tell you when the next tram is coming and all the rest of it. I mean, I suppose we could do it with the bus stops, and you put the digital boards on the bus stops and give you a time and all that, but they just don't seem to do that. So you're standing at a bus stop waiting. Anyway, I've waffled on about Cardiff's public transport system for a while. Didn't think I was going to do that. But, yeah, so that was that. But yeah, going back to Paul Weston, he pops up on podcasts every so often. I don't think he does his own at the moment, but he does pop up on Magic Podcasts. It's always worth a listen. He sees connections in things, and he sort of sees things from a different perspective as well. And I had a shave the other day, sort of looking at shadow there. Yeah. You see, if I cut the grey out, I don't know, maybe I should. If I sort of cut out all the grey, I'd look like that. Would I look younger? I don't know. But yeah, see, he's got this massive grey patch in the beard. It's age. It's age. It's age. Oh, you either get old or you get dead, don't you, really? So, plans for today. It's a Sunday. Well, because we popped into Aldi, we picked up some cheap meat, so we're going to have a Sunday roast, and then maybe do a bit of sorting out the garden, a bit more of that, make some more fire bricks. We had the fire one last night. It was cold. Had to get it banging hot and all that, and yeah, it works. It's funny. It does. Once it gets hot enough, that fire, and you're throwing wood into it like there's no tomorrow. But once it gets hot enough, it does more or less warm the whole house. Just from downstairs, it goes boom, boom, up the stairs, the heat, 3 stories tall, and warms the whole house. Yeah. And plus, we're getting a bit more used to it now. If you're cold, put a jumper on, and we tend to do that now. Anyway, today's just a bit of a rambling and a waffling one. Let's peace out.